All right, thank you, Connor. Well, our next guest is a Notre Dame student whose passion for food security has taken him from the classroom to the global stage. He's a first-year global affairs student at the Keough School and was recently selected to participate in the World Food Forum in Rome, of all places, where he joined global leaders, researchers, and innovators to tackle one of the most urgent challenges of our time: building sustainable and equitable food systems. Joining us now is Taylor Thigpen. And Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time here. I know it's a busy week for you here at Notre Dame.
Yes, it is.
And we were talking, it's your first year here at Notre Dame. So I guess first off, real briefly, tell us your Notre Dame story, what dorm, the normal introduction.
Yes, that's my first year here at Notre Dame. I'm in Keough. Awesome. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm in the Keough School of Global Affairs, and I've loved everything about Notre Dame since I've been here.
You got that long walk to campus.
Oh, yes, and I had the blonde hair.
Okay.
Everybody loved it, but I'm back.
Good deal. Well, tell me, what sparked your interest really in food security? How did that interest kind of lead you to Notre Dame and then beyond that to the Keough School?
Yeah, so where I grew up in a lower income community. I'm actually a first generation college student here at Notre Dame. And I noticed food insecurity in my community, and I thought, how can I, quote, be that force for good, right? And so I started this program called a Food Share Table, which basically, in summary, provided opportunity for leftover food for other students to take home with them who might need it instead of just throwing it away. And I actually started this project when I was 10 years old, and I never stopped. The project blew up. I ended up being able to talk about legislation to the Florida Senate, to the Florida House, and actually work on bills, in my teenage years. So it just blew up, and it's led me to so many opportunities and be able to just continue being that force for good.
Yeah, an amazing story. I was reading a little bit about it. So 10 years old, but this took you all the way to the World Food Forum, right, in Rome. So I think that's kind of probably one of the highlights, I would imagine. Talk about that experience.
I mean, it was crazy. So, no speaking Italian. I flew to Rome, didn't know anybody, and the World Food Forum brings together young people of the United Nations, diplomats from all over the world to come together to talk about the challenges we face, from food insecurity, from climate. And, when I was in the room with leaders, I was inspired. One, I was inspired by the own work that I've been able to do, but inspired by the work that other young change makers and adults alike have been able to do. And we made a lot of progress, hitting these sustainable development goals. That's what the United Nations calls them. And we're doing a lot of work. And I'm actually headed back again next October and giving the keynote address. And I'm very blessed. And I'm excited to represent Notre Dame as well, because I believe that, with their work and their mission too, we can work to a no kid hungry world.
Yeah, it seems like a perfect fit with what Notre Dame does, certainly.
Right.
So being in this space with, global leaders, change makers, it's got to be eye-opening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine, but and with your experiences, but did your conversations really influence, your thinking about, food systems and especially your role in that space? I have to imagine you took a lot away from that experience.
Right. One, I have to say too, I came with the street smart, but I needed that academic background, and Notre Dame provided that. And at the World Food Forum, I learned so much more that basically, honestly, gave me that skill of empathy, because I learned more not about just what the United States is doing, but the world as a whole. I mean, this world is global nowadays, and we need to adapt into that. And so, I mean, it was just a crazy experience, meeting diplomats, but also, it doesn't matter what their title is. I met young people who are making a change today, and I'm Gen Z, but I believe in Gen Z, and they're the ones who are the future leaders of today.
That's fantastic. So looking ahead, you've already mentioned your return trip to Rome, but how do you hope that this experience will kind of shape, the next 5-10 years, right, as you look to kind of continue your path along this journey? Right.
And so one, I mean, I'm excited for what the Keough School has to offer. I love their mission of this integral human development, and, I hope it prepares me to be in a role to make a change in the world, whether that's in foreign service or the nonprofit realm. And but really, I've already been able to make a change now, and I've been able to work with young leaders who I'm sure will be my future connections here at Notre Dame and elsewhere in the world. And I'm excited. My parents have never been out of the country, and I'm hitting 6 countries this summer. So it's crazy, and a lot of that is thanks to Notre Dame and funding support and donors like we're talking to today. So, I'm just blessed.
That's fantastic. You're filling up the passport really quick, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so finally, as we wrap this up, what do you hope other students take from this? I mean, you mentioned it. This is your first year, but you're clearly making an impact that, current freshmen, sophomore, upperclassmen, they can all probably look to your example.
Right. you know, one of the biggest things I always say to Gen Z or to young people is the worst somebody can say is no. And if you have a passion, and it can be whatever, but if you follow your passion, you can make a difference. And I've learned that in my own life. You know, you never give up, you keep following your passions, and things do really fall into place. As long as you're working for that common good, things work out.
That's great. Well, I hope we're talking to you again, you know, this time maybe next year.
Yes, I'll have to give you another update.
Yeah, good luck, and really what you're doing is fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Taylor.
Thank you.
All right, well, now let's head it down to Jake Irons, who is on stage with our next performance. Jake.